Konnichiwa minasan, Anton in Japan here and welcome to Sangenjaya Villa. This house is built in the 1930s and it used to be my home for more than 4 years. I bought it, we spent about 6 months into renovating it very cheaply, but this house deserves so much more. So we moved out, we challenged ourselves, and I can proudly say that this is our most beautiful build to date. I'm super excited to show you. Let's start from the outside. So this is a recycled door, as well as the windows behind me, all bought used from Yahoo auction, and a great advice if you're thinking about buying and renovating a house in Japan. We'll reveal and talk about all the costs later on. But first, I would like to show you our beautiful wooden deck. High-grade exotic wood, recycled, and it will hopefully last for a very long time. What do you think about the facade? This is yakisugi, super cheap. Cedar, it's considered a cheap material in Japan, but abroad it's considered kind of a luxury.
That's nice.
Thank you. Yeah, that's our guests in Sangenjaya house. And that's also the reason why we're whispering and why we didn't build a more luxury kind of onsen area here that we initially thought about. So building a Japanese onsen here would have been a dream, but we have Sangenjaya house here, we have all our other Japanese neighbors that we gotta respect. And since this is a hotel, we don't want our guests to be out here and having too good of a time too late at night in order to not disturb our fantastic neighbors. Let me show you the inside of Sangenjaya Villa. And we can talk a little bit higher as well. In order for you to understand the layout of the first floor, when you enter here, the 7-meter ceiling height, let me give you a quick little tour. Dining space right here with this recycled teak table from a showroom in Osaka. The outdoor space right here. I'll also explain why this space here, where you see basically everything in the house, is my favorite spot. Together with the bar counter, where you can invite a private chef if you want to. But if you see, everything on the first floor is based around this 3.5 meter long stainless steel industrial grade kitchen. Behind here, we have all the amenities, bathroom, bathtub, and double sink toilet. Exactly how I had it in my childhood home in Sweden. We were brushing teeth and kind of like ending our days together, my family. So that's something that I wanted to relive here. These are all appliances from Italy, actually. They were a part of a showroom and we bought them in. Unluckily, these ones are super designed, guessy kind of taps, but we needed to order special fittings for them because it's not a Japanese unit. So everything that we didn't have here, we had to order from Italy. And while this entire piece was about $500 US, these small little fittings were about $150. But I think it turned out really great. And I really like that the mirror here, the cabinets are going from wall to wall. And some recessed light up here. All of the switches are also stainless steel. And while I have you right here, can you see this one? The curve. In Japanese houses, between one post and another post is usually 182 centimeters. This sink is 167 centimeters wide. It fit almost. It was about here. So that means that either we cut it, it's gonna be ugly, or we make a curve here. And I am really happy about it. If you didn't know this story, I'm sure you wouldn't be able to tell, because it's the same on the other side as well. It continues here. Here, you'll see these in every Japanese house. This is how you control the hot water boiler. And we also have a heater for the ceiling right here. For this house, we've also worked with Mose, a young half-Japanese guy who used to work as a tiler in the US for many years. And we've really upgraded our bathrooms this time. All of these beautiful Gifu tiles that we purchased from Morocco, link will be in bio, but also inside of here. Big, beautiful tiles together with a full-size Toto bathtub and also a little niche here. Mose really insisted that we need a niche in this bathroom, and we built this with kind of indirect lighting as well. Matsumoto-san, our electrician, built that, but I'm really happy with this one. This is definitely the most beautiful bathroom and the nicest bathroom we've ever built. So when our guests are moving out, there are a few things that I'm a little bit worried if we're scratching or not. And that's one of these things, the enju, because we spent so much time making it. Probably most people won't see, but my local lumber, Marubi-san, gave us a piece of enju, which is a really rare piece of spruce. So we needed to have it, but in order to make it beautiful and put it here, we spent about 2 days with the Japanese kanna together with my Japanese carpenter. Another thing that's modeled after Sangenjaya house actually is this staircase. Many people are loving about that house is the airiness and the staircase. So we modeled this with the exact same measurements. It's just that this part here is about 7 or 8 centimeters thinner. We initially decided on a different shape of the staircase, but if we would have done that, we would have hidden the beautiful okkage daisen right there. An old piece of wood together with a new piece of wood, and it's kind of the main structure of the house. That old cut that's based out of Japanese carpentry, how they built temples back in the day, together with the main intricate details here. This is a kanawatsugi. Hinoki, this is oak. The chairs here are oak, that's teak. So the reason I love this spot so much is that you can see what's going on basically in the entire house. It's an optical illusion almost with that huge mirror. But it's so many cool things to look at just sitting in the sofa here. So the staircase is modeled from Sangenjaya house, and so is these braces. You could build it into a wall, but it's beautiful, it's gorgeous, and it lets a lot of air sip in as well, because the darkest spot on the first floor is that corner right there. Now, let's talk about the kitchen. We built the first floor around this huge 3.5 meter kitchen that I found on Yahoo Auction. Got it for a steal for about 315,000 yen. We just had to go to Yokohama and pick it up. But just this blender alone is about 300,000 yen apparently. We have Miele appliances and Miele dishwasher. All of the oven, the microwave, the rice cooker is all Bermuda. White appliances, obviously bought used, as well as this fridge as well, which is a mirror fridge that will get very dirty if you touch it. The initial idea was here to have one wall and you don't really know what's behind it. And that was the initial idea. But since we have a fridge here with sliding doors, it's going to be one extra movement. So all heating in Japan is by aircon. Heating and cooling, no central heating, and on the entire first floor we have 4 daikins. So it means that all the aircons, they're not connected, but they react to the same remote control, which can be a problem sometimes, maybe. Did you have enough from the first floor? If so, let me show you the second floor. So the staircase is a big upgrade compared to the old blue one, right? Actually, Anton in Japan, this YouTube channel started right here. We were sleeping in that room, me and my partner, and this used to be a big tatami room. The ceiling, we decided to keep these big, beautiful beams, the old ones, while adding new bracing and stuff. Initially, when we started demolishing this house, some of the posts on the first floor, they weren't even attached. So the house needed love, it needed maintenance, it needed a big revival, and so we did. And here on the second floor, many of the old original pillars and beams are still visible. And as you can tell behind me, the mirror. That's actually the biggest mirror that you could buy from the online store. And because we did that, you can stand here, you would still be able to talk and see the people. Almost the exact same angle as when you would sit here in the reading nook. I really wanted to create this space, and that's the reason why we didn't build the fukinuke, the high ceiling all the way out here. We thought about even making it bigger and then maybe having the half of the entire second floor as a big open ceiling. But I think we did a pretty good choice of just making it here and leaving a little reading nook in that corner. So you have a little special private place right here, while you can still communicate a little bit with the people on the first floor and also on the second floor. Or you can just enjoy the view, the sunlight, while reading a bit. The only thing that we could save from the original details are the windows on the second floor and also these old sliding doors. I used to live here for a very long time. That's why this place has a very special place in my heart. And one thing I really loved about having this room as my bedroom back in the day was these original glass windows. And while my team, they're like, no, you shouldn't keep them. Let's throw them out and build something brand new here. I was very persistent on saving these. And while this is like a very normal, tiny room with these Japanese features, I still think that this is the main spot. So while that feels very Japanese, it's still the Western master bedroom. We are in Tokyo, we are in Japan. This is a very nice bed. And I feel like a couple would probably stay here and they would look up in the ceiling, right? You're seeing a weaved ceiling. I got this catalog from my local lumber and they gave me the idea of building this weaved ceiling. So we started up with this ceiling. It's all sugi, it's cedar, Japanese cedar, and it's all weaved. So this is probably the most fragile place in this entire house. And that's in the Western room. But we also have the most Japanese room that we can find, a kuwagari with order-made shoji doors right here. This is actually made out of spruce. It's the first time we're building a brand new tatami room. My local tatami guy, Namigai-san, he came here and he does a tremendous job. If you look at the mats here, it's 9 of these small mats. It's called Ryukyu Tatami because it doesn't have the edges, and that's considered a little bit more luxury, especially to Japanese people. If you look from how the sun is hitting them, it looks like they're slightly different. They are made in the exact same way. It's just how you place the fibers. So that's how you get this very cool looking feel to a tatami room. And the same lamp as in the other room, also bought on Yahoo Auction, but it's a little bit too white. So I found on another recycle shop this cool used, very similar style, and it has a very warm light with a dimmer. This is a hotel. We kind of have to have a TV as well. There's one room I haven't showed you yet, and I still haven't exposed what we paid for this house and the big costs of renovating a house at this scale in Tokyo. So let me show you the bathroom and then I'll expose that for you. I was really worried that when you open it, so we have a small little door stopper down there. And as you can tell, it's the same Douglas fir Beimatsu material as on the first floor, inside and also outside. Also the same tiles here as on the first floor, together with the Toto-san. I hope that you'll comment on like how beautiful all these wooden details are, because it's been taking us such a long time to build all of these things. So this is another thing we thrifted. It's from Konde House, a Japanese interior shop, very exclusive. This was one of their showroom units and we bought it online as well. It's a very hard Japanese low sofa, but it will function as a bed as well. After living in Japan for a few years, you kind of learn how to sleep on harder material, I think. So this was the house tour of Sangenjaya Villa, the house I lived in for a very long time, a house that means a lot to me. But you probably wonder, what does a house like this cost? And what does it cost to renovate? And where have we spent the most money renovating this house? We purchased this house for about 140,000 US dollars, including the land rights. 6 months into renovation, we could live here. And this entire renovation, I finally got a loan from a local bank. I showed some track record. They believed in what I was doing. They believed in me, and they believe in renovating and reviving older houses with style, with design, and use kind of what you have. So I got a loan and we had a pretty big budget compared to my other renovation projects. So 140,000 to purchase the house 5 years ago. I think the market has gone up a little bit, but the entire renovation started with demolition. And I used a company for this time. One of the most expensive things was the structural upgrades, putting a concrete slab under the entire house, having an engineer coming in here, but the structure cost us about 1.5 million yen. But better be safe than sorry. Japan is a country prone to earthquakes, natural disasters, and since we're spending so much time and money and love into crafting a house like this, you can't do that unless the structure is solid, right? Material was about 4 or 5 million yen in total, and then the rest has been just working with contractors, working with electricians. So it's been a wild journey, but all in all, we spent about 14 million yen, which is about $90,000, but that is without my time. And while I haven't been able to be so hands-on work-wise, I became kind of like a project leader while still working on like the fun, intricate cuts and still doing a lot of media and content on the side. And I can't express enough how important community in Japan is. No matter what you want to do, if you want to integrate and if you want to have a good life in Japan, you need to build a great community. And because I bought this house 5 years ago, I was given the opportunity to purchase my next door house. And who knows, maybe my other neighbor will come and knock my door and say, Anton, can you please buy my house from me another day? If you want to do well, people see that. If you work hard, people really appreciate that. I'm a foreigner in Japan. I love Japan. I love to revive older Japanese houses, and I love to create beautiful spaces. But the past year has been crazy. This is by far the most beautiful project we've created. I'm very, very proud of it. This is my little baby. But starting from next month, we're going in the countryside to revive our waterfall house. I can't wait to show you that one either. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Anton in Japan, and this is our flagship house, Sangenjaya Villa. Welcome to stay with us. Thank you.